A very good, happy Wednesday morning to everyone out there. Happy hump day. Landon here with you to bring you your latest weather and not forecast courtesy of On Target. Got a stratosphere of clouds with us this morning. You can see it streaming in here out of the north and west, and that's pretty much going to be the story throughout the day. This area of high pressure is located just to our west. It's going to keep a northerly wind component intact that's going to keep our humidity at bay throughout the day. Temperatures are going to remain pared down well below average for this time of year. But folks, you're going to want to get out there and enjoy it as we progress throughout today, because as we work into Thursday and the remainder of the week, we're going to be looking at somewhat of a hotter, more humid conditions taking back over, and it's going to be overstaying their welcome for a prolonged period of time. We are far from those readings this morning, folks. It is absolutely incredible out there. We've got temperatures and dew points hanging out right around the mid-50s. And depending upon how long this cloud cover hangs around throughout today, we could be looking at highs not escaping the low to mid-70s as we work into this afternoon. So as previously mentioned, it is going to be absolutely wonderful out there. Dew points should remain right around the mid and upper 50s as well, so no complaining allowed, all right? Taking a look here at a better illustration of the surface map, you can see this area of high pressure shifting from the Midwest over towards the Great Lakes. Clockwise flow, going to keep those winds out of the north and keep it very, very comfortable throughout the entirety of this Wednesday, all right? So now we're going to shift gears. We're going to take a look at the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Folks, we've been talking about this since the latter days of last week, and we continue to remain in this somewhat of a blocking pattern. We've got this large upper level ridge built across the south central U.S. That trough continues to dig sharply down across the northeastern tier of the continental U.S. This is what's going to keep that northerly flow intact. We're going to come right back to this here in just a moment and showcase what's going to change. Basically, folks, this big old fat ridge is about to slide eastward, keeping our prolonged period of hotter and more humid conditions, very dry conditions, intact for the foreseeable future. As we work throughout today, as previously mentioned, we were just looking at the satellite where we got this cloud cover jolting in here out of the north and west, and we want to give you a little bit of a portrayal out there about what's going on. The Beechtree News Skycam is showcasing this wonderfully up in Morgantown. You can see the back edge there of the cloud deck, folks, but with the southeastward motion, those clouds are going to be sticking around here at least throughout the morning hours of today, all right? Taking a look over the White Squirrel Weather Nest Cam, overlooking WKU, the first official week of classes up on the hill getting kicked off. We've got pretty much the entirety of Bowling Green socked in out there with no blue sky showcasing just yet, okay? So we work throughout today. We get into tomorrow as well. The northwesterly flow is going to keep a healthy mix of sun and clouds around. You can see these clouds working in here out of the north and west as we work through this afternoon. And on the end of this evening, a bit more sunshine is anticipated on Thursday, as you can see here. And then as we get into our Friday, we're going to have another little batch of clouds that's going to work in here from the west. So a healthy mix of partly sunny skies is in store for us today, all the way through the end of the work week, all right? Now we get into the comfort department, if you will. Dew points hanging out right around the low and mid-50s as we work throughout the day. Not going to be too shabby whatsoever. Here we are working into the Thursday time frame, folks, and this is whenever we're going to start to see a return of somewhat hotter conditions, more humid conditions. We got dew points creeping back up by the time we work into Thursday afternoon and evening up into the lower 60s. It still should be quite nice on Thursday, but you're going to start to notice a little bit more of a soupier atmosphere. By the time we get into our Friday, you can see the return here of those dew points back up between the mid and upper 60s. We're going to be up near 70 degrees in the dew point department throughout the weekend, with the heat and humidity continuing to plague the region, all right? So let us put this into motion and showcase what's going to occur. Watch this ridge build and expand and slide eastward throughout the remainder of this week and throughout the weekend, and even into the early days of the new work week, all right? So here we have that ridge slowly but surely shifting eastward. We get into our Saturday. we get into our Sunday and into the early days of next week, folks, that's going to keep this activity mitigated off to our north up here along southern Canada. But wait for it. Model guidance is hinting at this trough digging down here out of the north and west. By the time we progress roughly a week or 8 or 9 days from the current time frame, with this trough breaking down, there's likely going to be an associated cold front coming off of this low pressure system. It's finally going to be bringing maybe some hit-miss rain chances back into the fold for us, and hopefully a little bit of a reinforcing jolt of some colder air on the back side of that as we work into Thursday and Friday of next week, all right? So that remains to be seen. But for the foreseeable future, folks, we have got well above average probability of staying well below average in the precipitation department, overlooking the next 6 to 10 days across the region and beyond. Pretty much the entirety, folks, of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Not just that, but the Climate Prediction Center has put out the rapid onset drought risk outlook. And you can see right there on the top right corner of that graphic, that does include a portion of wobbles. So that's going to be worth keeping close eyes on. With the dry conditions, it's going to be settling in with the heat and humidity really cranking up out there. And we've lucked out thus far, folks, but we're getting towards the latter part of summer, and it looks like this dry pattern is here to stay at least over the course of the next week, if not the next 10 to 14 days. So keep your fingers crossed. Maybe we get some rain chances that'll finally appear here with the latest outlook moving through here. Folks, I know I am in the middle of a weather video, and we're about to jump over to your 6-day weather forecast. But take a look at the sunrise overlooking the White Squirrel Weather Nest Cam. We have got these hot pink colors that are coming alive out there. You might want to step out on the porch with your cup of coffee, soak in the cotton candy skies and the beautiful view for the masterpiece that we've been blessed with here at the start of this wonderful Wednesday. Here's your full breakdown of your next 6-day weather forecast, courtesy of Ohio Valley Insurance. For today, it's going to be immaculate. Mix of sun and clouds, highs hanging out right around the mid-70s, low humidity staying at bay as well. The heat and humidity begin to return tomorrow, although Thursday should still be quite comfortable, despite highs up between the low and mid-80s, and then the heat is on. We're going to be looking at highs right around the low to mid-90s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday of next week, whenever that heat should really crank up. Dew points up to near the 70-degree mark, folks. We cannot rule out the very likely possibility of triple-digit heat indices coming along with that as well. Friends, that's going to wrap up your Wednesday morning hump day edition of your Weather and I Bowling Green weather forecast, brought to you by On Target. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a fantastic Wednesday.